All right. So I just finished watching the new Twisters movie in the United States of America. Thank you, piracy. Now, I want to be honest. I don't like remakes. Some prequels I like, most I don't. But especially remakes, reboots, whatever you want to call it. They're usually not as good as the original. And Twister, the original 1996 movie, man, that's probably one of the best disaster movies of all time. 10 out of 10. Can't go wrong. The acting's good. The action's really good and never slows down. Even though there's not action throughout the whole thing back to back, but when there isn't, it still holds your attention. You want to know more about these people. You want to know more about the characters, where they're from, what they've been through, how they think, why they live the way they live. In my biased mind, I was like, no way they're going to get it right. It's like people nowadays don't have a soul. It's like actors, directors, writers nowadays don't have the soul that they did back then. So they never get it right. That was my mindset. But it actually does have heart. This new Twisted movie does have heart, just like the original. Now, in this one, they take it a little too far, though. The original had a nice balance where it wasn't just about tornadoes and action and death and everything and destruction, but it had good character chemistry and build up. This one does too, but with a little more seriousness and a little, in my opinion, a little too much. The original didn't take itself that seriously, and that's what we liked about it. So I don't think it should have taken itself that seriously. Maybe others might feel the same way, but it's not a big deal. And if you watch my reviews and my reaction videos, you'll know that I don't like long movies. Movies that don't need to be long. The original is like, I think it's an hour and 40 or 45, somewhere there. And it's balanced perfectly. It didn't need more or less. It was just right. This one slows down a lot in the middle. And like I said, in the original, you didn't have that problem. But that's what happens when you write a story, a screenplay. And for some reason nowadays, they want to make it 2 hours or more. I always thought that if you made a movie an hour and a half, it's good for the theater because they could show it more times. But I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they have to make it 2 hours now. And, we got to talk about Glen Powell. I first noticed him on Top Gun Maverick. He stood out in that movie. Some might argue more than Tom Cruise. But no way you could argue he doesn't stand out in this movie. He is this movie. He outshines everyone else. And when I saw the trailer, I thought he was going to be like a Bill Paxton stand-in. Sort of like his replacement. Same kind of character as Bill Paxton's character. But no, this guy is a YouTuber. He's all about the views and likes and he's doing it for fun pretty much. But he's not an a-hole. He's not mean, which you would think because he plays that pretty well. Kind of cocky, like in Top Gun. He actually cares about people. It's just not about him. So that's cool that they did that. So let's talk about the CGI from the 90s and the CGI now. In my opinion, the CGI and the practical effects from the original, they still stand the test of time. But there are a few, very few scenes where the tornado doesn't look as convincing. That's not their fault. The budget back then, computers were a lot more slower. And here, yeah, it's a tad bit better, just a little bit. And they use the tornadoes in a way that they either didn't think of or couldn't back then. Yeah, you got to go through an oil refinery like you see right here. You got to go through a bunch of phases and places that they didn't think of back then or couldn't because they didn't have the technology. Who knows? So I like that. They explored what tornadoes can do a lot more in this one. Yeah, and even within the movie, they show the new technology that we have now in 2024. Like a better camera, drones. And one thing that I don't know why I didn't think of it in the original movie is pretty smart. So Glen Powell's character has a truck that has these drills on the side of them that go down onto the earth, deep into the earth, and it holds down the truck. So you could have a tornado go directly on you and it won't lift you up. That would have ended the original movie so fast. Dorothy would have been, released real quick. They wouldn't have a problem. But that was pretty smart. Whoever thought of that. One thing that some people might not like, I didn't have a problem with it. I don't mind found footage movies like The King of Them All, Blair Witch Project. I don't mind it. And they use that here. So you're gonna have some people who say, "Oh, why did they do that? It's a modern thing," and then you're gonna have some people like me who don't really care about it too much. Also, they bring back good old Dorothy. There's a lot of callbacks to the original. You got to be a real big fan to really catch all of them. Now, I don't know if this is an official remake, a reboot, a sequel, a prequel. I don't know exactly what they're calling it, but to me, it felt like a remake. It's pretty much the same story. It's pretty much the same story, but with a modern twist, modern characters, modern technology. But since I like the original, I don't mind that too much. Now, the side characters, man, if you're a fan of the original, you're gonna remember those guys. We all like them. They were funny, interesting. Each one was different. Each one of them brought something to the table. They're very memorable. Here, not so much. They just don't have that charisma, man. I don't know who said. I think Bill Maher said they're on the internet so much they don't have a character. They don't have charisma. They don't have personality anymore. They don't really talk as much in the real world as they used to. So with that, you build a character. You build some kind of personality. I don't know if that's true or not, but they just don't have it, man. They don't have it like they used to. And I was hoping, man. I was hoping you would see a flying cow. Nope, zero flying cows. That would have been a nice homage, like a little callback. Cause that was real funny when I saw that, man. So from 1 to 10, I'm gonna give this movie here a solid 7. Is it rewatchable? Definitely. I'm gonna go watch it in the theater when it comes out in the United States. Now, would I recommend it? Yeah, I would recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the original. And I gotta say one more thing. Bill Paxton loved the original movie. Sometimes some actors don't like their own movies, especially if they were real successful and people constantly bug them about that movie, like or even a TV show like Captain Kirk. That man hates that character. He hates the TV show. So I'm glad that Bill Paxton felt real passionate about the original Twister movie, so much that he wanted a sequel to be done. And they had an idea in 2012. It was supposed to be directed by James Cameron. It was called Twister 3D. Back then, 2010, 2012, the whole 3D thing was big, so they were trying to do that. It never happened, but he kept trying to the very end. So I think he would actually like this movie here. He would be proud of it. All right, guys. That's my review. Catch you on the next one.